From the farthest galaxies to the tiniest atom, there runs a thread, a symmetry, a proportion, a rhythm. It's as if the entire universe has been drawn with a compass, crafted according to a precise architectural plan. Every orbit, every angle, every law that governs motion seems tuned to perfection. Nothing in creation is random. Everything is measured. The Quran calls this balance Mizan, the equilibrium upon which existence stands. He raised the heaven and established the balance, so that you may not transgress the balance. When Allah mentions balance in the heavens, it's a statement about the very structure of reality. The stars, the planets, the atoms within you, all follow laws of precision. Even the forces that bind the universe together, gravity and electromagnetism, are perfectly balanced so that the cosmos neither collapses nor drifts apart. In the Quran, Allah repeatedly reminds humanity that everything in existence has been created with measure, a specific proportion, quantity, and purpose. This concept appears through two powerful Arabic terms, qadar and mizan. Both words are deeply interconnected, yet each reveals a unique aspect of the divine architecture. Qadar speaks of precise determination, the decree and proportion of all things. Mizan speaks of balance and justice, the harmony that holds creation in place. Allah says, "Indeed, all things we created with measure," qadar. The term qadar carries several layers of meaning in the Quran. It comes from the root qadara, meaning to measure, to determine, to proportion, to decree. In the language of revelation, it signifies Allah's decree and His precise design for everything that exists. Nothing escapes that decree, not the orbit of a star, nor the fall of a leaf. Allah says, "And with Him are the keys of the unseen. None knows them except Him, and He knows whatever is on the land and in the sea. Not a leaf falls, but that He knows it." Ibn al-Qayyim explained that qadar is not merely divine predestination. It is the measurement of existence itself. In his Shifa al-Alil, he wrote that every act of creation has a fixed measure in time, quantity, and form. Nothing exceeds its appointed limit. Allah has measured every being in its duration, its provision, its strength, and its nature. He said, "Allah's decree is not blind fate. It is precise order flowing from perfect knowledge and perfect wisdom." This is the same order that physicists today recognize when they speak of physical constants, the finely tuned numbers that govern the universe. The gravitational constant, the speed of light, the charge of the electron, all are perfectly measured values that, if altered even slightly, would make life impossible. The Quran says, "And everything with Him is by due measure." It is Allah who created the heavens and the earth in truth and formed you and perfected your forms. This perfection is not an accident of physics. It is the signature of Al-Qadir, the one who measures all things. If Qadar is the blueprint of creation, then Mizan is the law that keeps that blueprint stable. Mizan literally means balance, scale, or equilibrium. It represents the universal symmetry that prevents collapse. The justice embedded within the cosmos. Allah says in Surah Ar-Rahman, "And the heaven He raised and established the balance, so that you may not transgress the balance. So establish weight with justice, and fall not short in the balance." Notice how the verse links physical balance with moral balance. The same equilibrium that holds galaxies in orbit also governs human ethics. To corrupt the balance in society through injustice or arrogance is to rebel against the very structure of existence. Imam Al-Ghazali, in Mishkat al-Anwar, explained that the word Mizan in the Quran is both literal and metaphorical. In the literal sense, it refers to the physical balance of the universe, the forces that regulate stars, the harmony of elements, the ratio between light and darkness. In the moral sense, it refers to the balance within the soul and society, justice, fairness, moderation. He wrote, Allah has set a balance in the visible world so that man may reflect upon the balance in the unseen. Modern science confirms that everything in the visible world exists in states of equilibrium, from the balance between matter and antimatter at the birth of the universe, to the chemical balance that sustains life in every cell. Even the orbits of the planets represent a perfect equilibrium between gravitational pull and centrifugal force. The sun and the moon move by precise calculation. It is He who created the night and the day and the sun and the moon, each floating in an orbit. What we call laws of nature are simply expressions of Mizan, the divine balance set in motion by the command of Allah. Ibn Taymiyyah observed that Allah's names Al-Adl, the just, and Al-Muqsit, the equitable, manifest through this balance in creation. He wrote that justice, Adl, is not only a moral principle, but the very structure of the cosmos. Every object, every event, every decree occurs within its rightful measure, in perfect alignment with divine wisdom. He said, if the balance of creation were disrupted even slightly, it would cease to exist, but Allah has maintained it by His command, as He maintains the order of faith and reason. The Quran says, "You see no irregularity in the creation of the Most Merciful. So look again. Do you see any breaks? Then look again and yet again. Your vision will return to you humbled and fatigued." This verse is an open challenge, to look deeper into the universe and find a flaw. The more humanity explores, the more symmetry it discovers. The geometry of snowflakes, the hexagonal rings on Saturn's poles, the fractal structure of galaxies, the mathematical patterns in atomic lattices. The deeper we look, the more we see the Mizan. Ibn Arabi spoke of balance in a more metaphysical sense. In his Futuhat al-Makkiyah, he described the universe as a harmony of opposites, existence and non-existence, light and darkness, motion and stillness, each balancing the other. Without contrast, he said, there could be no perception, no beauty, no meaning. This idea resonates with how modern physics sees the universe: positive and negative charges, matter and antimatter, creation and decay, all existing in perfect symmetry. If even one of these forces dominated, the universe would collapse into imbalance. Allah says, "And of everything we created pairs, that you may remember." The balance of pairs is not only biological, male and female, but cosmological. It's the law that sustains the seen and the unseen. When the Quran speaks of Mizan, it also connects cosmic balance to human responsibility. Imam al-Razi, in his Tafsir al-Kabir, interpreted Mizan as a divine system of proportion that operates in both the cosmos and the human realm. He explained that Allah mentions it in Surah Ar-Rahman to remind us that the harmony of creation should be reflected in our actions, in fairness, moderation, and justice. Thus, the architecture of the universe becomes a mirror for moral life. The believer is commanded to live within the same Mizan that governs the stars. Creation stands between two measures, Qadr and Mizan. One determines existence, the other maintains it. In the architecture of the cosmos, Qadr is the plan, Mizan is the structure, and Allah is the architect. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, the universe speaks in numbers, ratios, and geometry. Patterns repeat across scales, as if creation itself were written in a universal language, a language of measurement, proportion, and symmetry. This is the essence of Mizan. The Quran hints at this order in many verses. He created the heavens and the earth in truth. He wraps the night over the day, and wraps the day over the night. And he has subjected the sun and the moon, each running its course for a specified term. Unquestionably, he is the exalted in might, the perpetually forgiving. Even the apparent cycles of day and night of the sun and moon follow precise calculation, a rhythm that can be expressed mathematically. Modern science calls this celestial mechanics. Imam Al-Ghazali emphasized that the study of numbers and proportions leads to recognition of divine wisdom. He noted that the laws of nature are expressions of Allah's intelligence, and that understanding these laws is a form of reflecting on His perfection. In essence, mathematics is not merely a human invention, it is a discovery of the patterns already embedded in the universe. Consider the Fibonacci sequence, which appears in the arrangement of sunflower seeds, the spirals of galaxies, and the branching of rivers. Consider the golden ratio, visible in the structure of DNA, the proportions of the human body, and the formation of seashells. This is not a coincidence. It is the manifestation of Qadr and Mizan, measurement and balance, encoded in the very fabric of creation. Another manifestation of mathematical harmony is repetition. The same shapes, ratios, and structures repeat across scales. Fractals appear in clouds, mountains, river networks, and even the branching of blood vessels. Ibn Arabi explained, "All things repeat in harmony, for the Creator's wisdom is mirrored in every being. By contemplating one part, the mind can glimpse the whole." This idea mirrors what science calls self-similarity. The universe is constructed on repeating patterns, fractal in nature, where the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. A snowflake reflects the geometry of a crystal lattice, a leaf reflects the branching of trees, a galaxy reflects the spirals of shells. All obey proportion, ratio, and order. All are part of the Mizan. Look at the universe. Everything is balanced with extraordinary precision. From the fundamental forces that shape matter to the constants that define the cosmos, there is a fine-tuning so exact that it seems almost impossible. Allah says, "Do they not see the dominion of the heavens and the earth and everything that Allah has created?" He does not merely ask us to look at the vastness of space, but to notice its harmony, its calibration, its measure. Modern scientists call this fine-tuning, the observation that the constants of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear forces, fall within a narrow range that allows the universe to exist as it does. Even the slightest deviation would make stars, planets, or life impossible. Consider gravity. If it were slightly stronger, stars would burn through their fuel too quickly, leaving no time for life to evolve on planets. If slightly weaker, stars could not ignite, leaving a universe of cold, dark voids. Allah refers to this precise order when He speaks of celestial bodies. It is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, each floating in an orbit. The orbits of planets and moons, the rotation of galaxies, even the delicate balance between matter and dark energy, all are held in place by the measured force of gravity. Ibn Taymiyyah wrote, "The Creator has constructed everything with due measure, so that no atom, no star, no motion occurs without precise proportion. This is the law by which the universe exists, and it points to the one who maintains it." The strong nuclear force binds protons and neutrons in atomic nuclei. Its strength is finely tuned. Too strong, and all hydrogen would fuse into heavier elements, leaving no water for life. Too weak, and nuclei could not hold together, preventing atoms from forming. The weak nuclear force regulates radioactive decay, enabling the sun to shine steadily. Even the half-life of elements is crucial for life. Fine-tuning extends to the biological realm. The laws of chemistry, the structure of DNA, the ratios of elements essential for life, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, all are precisely calibrated. Water, for example, has unique properties that allow life to exist. Its molecular structure, its heat capacity, its ability to dissolve essential compounds. Fine-tuning is a bridge between revelation and observation. Creation is like a book written in divine measure. Every law, every orbit, every element sings of the perfection of Allah. To reflect upon it is to witness the wisdom of the Creator, and to understand it is to recognize the justice and harmony that govern all things. Galaxies themselves are not randomly distributed. They form clusters which interact gravitationally to create enormous superclusters stretching across hundreds of millions of light years. Between these superclusters lie vast cosmic voids, regions almost empty of matter. The resulting structure resembles a cosmic web, a pattern of filaments and nodes that reflects balance on a scale beyond imagination. This cosmic web is a modern reflection of Al-Mizan, balance. Gravity pulls matter together, while cosmic expansion pushes it apart, creating a dynamic equilibrium. Without such balance, galaxies would collapse inward or disperse into the void, and the universe would be unrecognizable. The Quran emphasizes this precision. Do they not look at the sky above them, how we structured it and adorned it, and there are no flaws therein? Zooming in from the cosmic web to individual galaxies, we observe the same principle: orbital harmony. Planets orbit stars at precise distances and velocities, creating stable planetary systems. Too close to the star, and a planet would overheat. Too far, and it would freeze. Orbital resonance between planets, moons, and rings demonstrates a finely tuned gravitational system, where every object's motion depends on and stabilizes the motion of others. Modern astronomy quantifies this through Kepler's laws of planetary motion and Newtonian gravitation. Each orbit is a balance between centrifugal force and gravitational pull, an elegant dance maintained over billions of years. Stars are another example of cosmic architecture. Each star follows a life cycle determined by its mass and composition. Nuclear fusion converts hydrogen into helium, producing energy that radiates into space. This energy sustains planets, drives weather, and supports life. The precision of stellar physics is staggering. The rate of fusion depends on temperature, pressure, and atomic properties, all finely tuned constants. The Quran acknowledges the regularity and predictability of celestial bodies, and the sun runs on toward its stopping point. That is the determination of the mighty, the knowing. Modern astrophysics quantifies this determination. Stars burn steadily for millions to billions of years, creating heavy elements through nucleosynthesis, the building blocks of planets, life, and human civilization. This is a direct manifestation of cosmic balance. The universe operates on precise laws, balances, and measures maintained for billions of years. Gravity pulls matter together, electromagnetic forces hold atoms, nuclear forces sustain stars, and cosmic expansion prevents collapse. But what happens when this cosmic balance is disrupted? The Quran presents the end of the universe in vivid terms, using expressions that correlate remarkably with modern scientific understanding of cosmic collapse entropy, and the cessation of natural laws. In Surah Al-Takwir, the word takwir is used to describe the sun being rolled up. When the sun is rolled up and when the stars fall, dispersing. The term takwir literally means to roll up like a turban. Scientifically, this can be understood as the cessation of the sun as a stable star, a time when its nuclear fuel is exhausted, and it collapses into a white dwarf, neutron star, or black hole. Stars are governed by nuclear fusion and the delicate balance between gravitational collapse and outward radiation pressure. When that balance is broken, the star can no longer maintain its form. Eventually, the sun itself will burn out, and with billions of stars across the cosmos. The rolling up of suns represents a large-scale breakdown of cosmic energy sources, a manifestation of the end of cosmic Mizan. Following the rolling up of the sun, the Quran describes the dispersal of stars. This dispersal correlates with the concept of gravitational unbinding in astrophysics. Galaxies are held together by gravity, and clusters of galaxies orbit a common center of mass. However, as dark energy drives the accelerated expansion of the universe, distant galaxies will eventually recede faster than light can traverse the expanding space. In a far future scenario, stars will appear to drift apart until the night sky itself becomes dark, a dispersal that mirrors the Quranic depiction of stars falling and scattering. The cosmic balance of gravitational cohesion is gradually lost as expansion dominates, illustrating how Mizan, if disrupted, leads to the unraveling of the ordered universe. Another Quranic verse states, "When the heaven is cleft asunder and becomes rosy like red oil." The imagery of the heavens turning like molten oil aligns with the physics of high-energy events at the end of cosmic lifetimes. For example, as massive stars reach the end of their lives, they explode as supernovae, releasing enormous energy and dispersing heavier elements. In the ultimate fate of the universe, processes like gamma-ray bursts, black hole mergers, and the decay of fundamental particles will release immense energy, effectively melting the cosmic structures, a vivid illustration of the loss of Mizan. The Quran states, "And when the mountains are set in motion." Mountains on Earth are stable because of gravity. Their immense weight anchors them to the crust, and tectonic forces maintain equilibrium over millions of years. The word used in the Quran, the set in motion, indicates a fundamental disruption of this balance. From a scientific perspective, if the cosmic Mizan were to be broken, the force that gives mass and weight to objects, primarily gravity, would cease to function as we know it. Without gravity, mountains would no longer remain fixed. They would become effectively weightless, losing the anchor that keeps them embedded in the crust. Freed from this force, they would begin to move and float, similar to how clouds drift in the atmosphere. This motion is not random. It is the natural consequence of the absence of the stabilizing force that once held them in place. Surah Al-Infitar describes another aspect of cosmic disorder. "And when the seas are erupted." Seas, like stars and planets, operate within physical laws. Temperature, pressure, and gravitational balance govern them. The eruption of seas represents a global breakdown of planetary conditions. On a universal scale, it symbolizes the total loss of order, reflecting the end of the water cycle, atmospheric stability, and magnetic and gravitational balances that sustain life. In astrophysical terms, when planets lose internal heat or when stars and galaxies dissipate, the conditions necessary for oceans and atmospheres cease to exist. Entropy plays a central role in this cosmic collapse. The second law of thermodynamics states that closed systems naturally progress toward disorder. The universe, while governed by Qadr, is not exempt from entropy. As time progresses, energy becomes less available to sustain ordered systems. Stars burn out, black holes evaporate, and matter eventually decays into subatomic particles. The Quranic language describing the unraveling of suns, stars, and heavens reflects this progressive loss of usable energy, the ultimate consequence of Mizan failing at cosmic scales. Up until now, we have traced the threads of balance from the cosmic web of galaxies to the precise dance of atoms. But the Quran does not confine this principle of harmony to the physical universe. The same Mizan, the same divine balance, extends into the moral and spiritual dimensions of human life. The order that governs the stars and the elements also governs the soul, society, and justice among people. Ibn Taymiyyah commented, "The laws of creation and the laws of morality are two manifestations of the same divine order. The same measure that governs the stars also governs human behavior." Justice, moderation, and restraint are therefore not arbitrary moral codes. They are the reflection of a universal principle embedded into the fabric of reality. When humans act unjustly, cheat, or transgress, they are not merely breaking social rules, they are violating the cosmic symmetry upon which the universe itself depends. Imam al-Ghazali echoed this in his work Ihya Ulum al-Din, explaining that imbalance in the soul produces imbalance in action. He wrote that moral corruption leads to societal decay, just as physical instability leads to cosmic collapse. Human greed, arrogance, and oppression distort the natural order, creating disharmony in both spiritual and material realms. Balance in morality is closely linked to moderation. The Quran commands moderation in worship, in spending, and in behavior. And those who, when they spend, do so not excessively or sparingly, but hold a just balance between them. The principle of Mizan is not limited to society. It begins within the individual. Ibn Arabi, in Futuhat al-Makkiyah, describes the human heart as a microcosm of the universe. The heart must maintain proportion. Intention, knowledge, and action must align with divine measure. Excessive desire, envy, or arrogance disturbs this inner equilibrium. As we return to the vastness of the cosmos, from the spiral of galaxies to the intricate structure of the atom, the same principle emerges: measure, proportion, and balance. The Quran repeatedly calls attention to this balance, showing that the universe is neither chaotic nor random. It is a system built on Mizan, divine measure. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of night and day are signs for those who reflect. The verse highlights that the cosmos itself is a source of guidance. The movements of the stars, the orbit of the planets, the alternation of day and night, all of these follow precise laws. Scientists today observe these same patterns in physics, astronomy, and biology. The orbits of planets, the structure of galaxies, and even the properties of atoms obey strict principles of balance, echoing the Quranic assertion. The alternation of night and day is not merely a natural cycle. It is an observable manifestation of the order that governs the universe. On every scale, the universe exhibits balance. Galaxies rotate without collapsing. Stars shine in a cycle of birth and death. Chemical elements combine according to predictable laws, and life itself follows complex yet ordered patterns. These phenomena demonstrate measure, proportion, and equilibrium, the hallmarks of Mizan. The human being is part of this system. The Quran emphasizes that understanding the balance of the universe is connected to understanding the Creator. The message of Mizan is universal. It applies to the cosmos, human society, morality, and the soul. From the orbit of planets to the rhythm of the heart, from atoms to galaxies, from justice to mercy, Everything exists within a measured framework. Understanding this balance is understanding the signature of the divine architect. The Quran frames this balance as a way to recognize and worship Allah. Allah is He who raised the heavens without pillars that you see. Then He established Himself on the throne, and He subjected the sun and the moon, each running its course, for a specified term. He arranges each matter. He details the signs that you may, of the meeting with your Lord, be certain. In conclusion, the universe is more than matter and energy. It is a message, a structure, and a testament. From the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, from moral conduct to social order, from night and day to life and death, everything operates under divine balance. This balance is Mizan, the signature of Allah, the divine architect. Whoever understands this balance understands the Creator Himself.